What's going on, guys? Today we're just doing a little studio session, experimenting and playing around with a few filter techniques, trying to find new ways of bringing in the song, either as the intro drop or just a transitional part. Most of the bass and elements were recorded through the Virus TI and just bounced down to audio. That's what I got going on so far. Nice little groove. Got potential to go somewhere. Just gotta give it some direction. So I have everything assigned into the mixer through just the single channels and then sent through to bus channels. Today we're just going to be using just the low end send for all the effects. So if I solo that, you can hear what we're affecting. So it's just that group of sounds. I'm going to be using a plugin called Volcano. Really cool little multi-filter effect plugin. Get some really weird, trippy modulation going on. If you're having problems where you can't stop and start the audio through your spacebar, just come to this little head and then click don't show focus. And then that'll fix that problem. Also detach it so that it doesn't disappear every time I click on something else. That's just the first preset. It's pretty tripped out. But we're just gonna go clean and start making one from scratch. So start with the single filter, make it a high pass. Make a little steeper cut to it. To add a second filter, you just click this little number down here, which is this little nodule. I'll make that maybe a bandpass. And then you got all these different little options here for different algorithms and just different overall timbre of the sound. So I'm going to add a third one. And I'll probably make this a low pass. Kind of like gentle better. So up here you got these three little chain lock things that actually lock them all together. So you can just move all three of them around, which is the one. But I've gone and locked it in front of it. Then you got your routing options over here on the side. I'm going to set them as parallel filters so they're all sort of working over top of each other instead of in a chain. But then if you click Alt and Control and grab one of the little nodules, you can spin everything around. And if you grab the centerpiece, you can just move it all around with just one click. So you can create some really cool effects like this. Also for each individual filter, you got a little panning knob for the output to be panned either way. So I'm going to pan filter 1 to the left and filter 3 to the right, just to get a little bit of a stereo widening sort of feel going on, and just something happening other than just the filters. Not sure if you can pick up the actual panning of the output, but you might need to put on filters. You might need to put on headphones. So I'm going to add a second filter. So I'm just going to use Volcano again, just to kind of sweep it in. So we've got the first filter just as modulation sort of purpose, and then this one's just acting like a regular filter just to bring it all in one sort of flow. You could probably do it within the one plugin, but I like to do it this way. So I'm going to add a new folder, a new pattern by pressing F4. Just call it auto. Get this out of the way. So come up to the recording options and just go record automation and score. I'm going to go back to the plugin. And so Control Alt and then click to be able to move them all together. So test it out after you unarm it. And as you can see, it's following the exact path that we just drew. You can also link it to controller if you want and do it that way. And if you zoom in down here, you can actually see every individual little... Get this out of the way. You can actually see every individual little automation clip that's been drawn within that one pattern. So you can go in there and you can edit each individual one. Sometimes it gets a bit confusing, especially when you've got this much going on. And always make sure that you're not redlining, because with this many filters going on at the same time, it's easy to build up resonance and just make it clip a little bit. So that's all good. The second filter, we'll just use probably just a high pass and just use it in standard fashion, just sweeping down. Do the same thing. So as you can see, it highlights nice little elements of the first modulating filter, as well as giving it a little bit more direction in the way that it's moving. You can also sweep up, I suppose. Really like this filter, it's nice and clean. So this one, we'll just come up and go last tweaked, record automation clip. So it's based off the last thing you're moving, and the direction I was moving was up and down rather than left to right. So it's recorded that instead. Or sent it to that, sorry. So we want it to move this way. There is a way that you can go in and just swap it over so that it's just changing knobs with the same automation clip, but I'm just going to delete it and do it again. It takes 2 seconds. So make sure we're going left to right by moving the right knob. And just same thing, just create automation clip. There we go. You can see now that it's following how we want it to go. And we'll just cut it off one beat before, just so that we got a little bit of space between where the filters stop and where it drops in. Also, before we forget, we'll put a little automation clip on the mix of the modulating filters as well. Just the same thing. We'll just cut it off. Just cut it off before, like one beat before. Just move that back up and keep the filters together, the volcano together. So I'm going to add reverb as well, another plugin by FabFilter. Just cut a bit of the low end out of the post EQ as well as the decay rate. Keep it far away in the spacing. Bring that in clean. And we'll keep it fairly bright. So as you can hear, it sounds really far away, sort of distant. And that's a bit closer. Okay, a bit. So essentially we want it to be like sweeping in, kind of like the sound's getting closer to us. It starts from the distance and then it comes closer. To achieve that, we just start with a large reverb, like a large space, slowly reduce it. Bit more of the low end out. So we're going to automate this knob. It's the actual size of the reverb. So we're going to start large and come down, not all the way down to nothing, but so that way it's more of an impact when it drops into a clean sound afterwards. We might actually automate the distance as well, just to give it 2 points of movement and make it feel like it's coming closer to us as well. So that's sounding pretty good for now. It's starting to go the direction we want it to go. Giving it a little bit more space and movement. I think we can go one step further and add a little bit of grit and dirt to it before it goes into a clean sound as well. So once again, another FabFilter plugin. This is a multi-band distortion. Really good for getting nice gritty sort of dirty sound, but still not being like ear piercing or sharp. And the beauty is you can control each frequency with different band. I'll turn all this off first, just so I can hear the distortion by itself. And again, you got all these different algorithms, different styles of distortion, so you can play around and experiment with them. I want it kind of more subtle on the low end and gets more intense as it gets towards the high frequencies. Really good distortion plugin. So to add a new little section, you just click the little plus and it'll give you a new band. So it's really starting to break up the top end. Get it sort of, it's becoming real dirty. I like that more, it feels more like a big crush. Starting to get a little feedback loop happening somehow. I haven't had this plugin for too long, so I'm not 100% familiar with it. It has happened to me a couple times, so I get this feedback and it's so hard to figure out where it's coming from. Definitely feel like it's in one of the top two bands. You can kind of see it. But just make sure it's not doubling up from the lower ones as well. Maybe that's too much, I'll just stick with free bands. Yeah, I'll back off on the lower ones, even though I think it's the last band. It's still there. So you got the individual mix as well for each band, which is really cool. You can control how much distortion on each section. Actually, you know what? It's gonna be okay because the way I want to use the distortion is coming in towards the end, so we're not going to hear it at the start anyway. So it's kind of subtle, but it just adds that little bit of grit and texture before it drops into a clean kick and bass. Keeps things a little bit more exciting, interesting. I think that reverb's a little bit too much, so I'm just going to pull back the mix a bit on it. Also, if your patterns are overlapped like this, and you want to get back to one specific one, you can actually just click on it. Yeah, you can actually just click on it until you get to the one. It'll cycle through all the patterns that are overlapped, and you cycle through to the one you want and just drag it out. Okay, so we'll just copy this across. Now you drop it in, just without the percussion. Just keep it kind of simple for the start. So it goes from like a full sound to sort of more hollow and basic. Feeling it wasn't dramatic enough. I know we haven't got Atmos or anything around it yet, or impacts and that, but I feel like it can be a bit stronger off the bat. Yeah, so maybe we simplify it, take out the melodic element. If you want to delete something mute something as a shortcut, you can double right click and hold it and drag over like I just did there, and that will actually mute it rather than deleting it. Reverse this kick, so just make a unique version of it. Reverse it, make sure everything's back to reset. Open it up, and then you can fine tune it by holding Alt and just slowly adjusting, and you can also drag it and fine tunely drag it the same way, holding Alt. Cut this off. My shortcut for my cutting tool is just C. And then going back to normal is just B for brush. I can't actually remember if that was default or not. Might turn down the impact a little bit. I mean the transient. Yeah, I think we can do without this. Just keep it simple as it comes in. So we'll copy this across to the other side of it where it comes back into a full pattern again. Yeah, I'm liking that better. Some of these bass notes as well. See how that sounds, a little double kick before it drops in. Just automating the volume. I don't know about that. I feel like we need some more stuff going on. Yeah, now it's getting there. It's pushing towards where we want to go. Not happy with this kick. So to get your old color back, if you've lost it in your little recent colors, you can actually go to one of them, go to rename, click the color, close it, and then when you come in to do it again, just press F3 and it'll actually do the last color you're on. I think we can take out a few more. Yeah, fuck yeah, that's the one. Alright. So simplify the pattern even more. Make it a bit more bouncier. Alright. I'm liking that better, but still this kick. I might just change the spacing around a bit. Make a bit bigger of a gap before it kicks in. Maybe we can even change the time signature to 3/4. Oh. Snap that to the grid. Yeah, that's better. So much better. You can see it all starting to come together. Once we add some risers and atmos and other stuff moving around it to push it and pull it in the direction we want to go, then it will sound nice. So usually just take all my automation clips, put them up into a channel and name it low end send, and color it the same as on the mixer. And then you can just close up this little package and it's kind of out of your way. And then later on you can bounce it down to audio if you want. Well guys, that's about it. I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoyed.